Wranglers Extra.
Back out here for our second manager show at Spillane Field in Wareham. Josh Schaefer joined by Wareham Gatemen manager Don Sneddon. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem.
Now, you are the winningest manager in the history of California Community College baseball. How has that experience transitioned over into your tenure here in the Cape League?
Interesting question. I've been out of that for about 4 years. I went into pro ball for a year. That was on my bucket list. So I worked for the Colorado Rockies for a year just to see what that was like. And it was a whole professional business type atmosphere and really didn't enjoy that. I'm a college guy. I like working with kids. So 2 years I got the opportunity to come out here with Jerry Weinstein and be an assistant. And I'd sent a lot of players here to the Cape and the Alaska League. So I said before I finish this is another on a bucket list. So I made that transition out here as an assistant. First time I've been assistant 35 years. That was the toughest transition. Transitioning from last year the head coach to this year, that isn't nearly as hard as it was being in that third base box down there and dodging baseball. So it's been fun. It's a privilege to work with talent of this level and players that are future first, second, third round players. And we've had some of that. I spent a lot of time with Joey Bart, and that was fun, and he was there. And so it's a chance that most coaches would love to have but don't get to use it because they're Division I coaches and they can't leave, or they're Division I assistant coaches and got to recruit, or they're Division I second assistants got to run camp. So it leaves it to us old guys like this that really just have some time to be able to come out here and coach at this level.
So your second year as the manager of the Gatemen, what have been the biggest differences from last year's ball club and this year's team?
Well, personnel, and personnel changes. As you guys know, the personnel changes in the season. I mean, it's amazing. If you take a look at our roster we had at the beginning, I think somebody put us as the #1 amateur team in the summer. And that ended very quickly as soon as some of our guys, Vaughn left and Stott for Team USA. So now we got to have the second shift comes in, and that comes in, and they're good players, but then that end up changing, and now you're relying on a kid that pitched from Yale to close out Falmouth that was in Alaska and flew all night to get here to be eligible to play for us, and only pitched 5 innings for them and becomes our hero. So it's not always the best team that wins this thing right now. It's sort of the team that maybe picked up the best players. We picked up 6 players just to be able to have the series here.
Now, a pretty big turnaround from your first year and your second season here with the Wareham Gatemen. And one thing that we've actually talked about with Tom Holliday quite frequently in his first year is how you get guys to stay and then how you try to adjust when guys leave. How have you been able to do that these past 2 seasons?
Well, it's been tough, and that's something that we've had conversation with this league about changing that, finishing earlier, maybe having a smaller playoff of 5, 6 games instead of 9. There needs to be some changes made, or I think the league will struggle. I've seen that happen up in Alaska. I coached there and watched that league struggle. So that would really help the players. A drop-dead date, knowing that on August 6th, that's the last possible day, no matter what happens. So they can make plans to go home and go on their trips or move in or whatever needs to be done. So we need to listen to the players. We need to take what they have, because without them we have nothing. Because without them the scouts don't show, and the scouts don't show, this league goes down. So we need to start taking care of those players. Times have changed. We can no longer just sit on who the Cape was, but we need to morph into this new league that still attracts the best players, and I think we still can. So for us, it's not the best players that are here right now. It's the players that still want to be here, and we've been lucky to hold ours in.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck today in Game 1.
All right, thank you.
We'll send it back up to Cooper Boardman for more.